Hello and welcome to the world of business. The federal government has been cautioned against the 2.34 trillion naira recurrent expenditure planned in the 2016 fiscal budget unless there is a corresponding increase in revenue generation. Mr. Gabriel Idahosa, a management accountant and chief executive officer of Uhi Maji, made this comment on Business Morning today as it discussed the budget released last week.
Well, realistic is relative to what you want to achieve. That is, for example, you want to be able to pay salaries. So if the budget is not enough to pay salaries, it's not realistic. Realistic in the sense that you want to provide certain basic services. You want hospitals to run, you want our schools to run, so you want to have basic services running. To the extent that the budget can cover that, is realistic. But can we afford to spend 60-70% of our budget every year on recurrent?
This year is 75%.
75%. So to that extent, for the long-term growth and development of the economy and of the country, it is not desirable, I think.
The latest data from the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries indicates that Angola has pushed Nigeria off its #1 producer status. According to OPEC's monthly oil market report, the country's crude output declined by 250,000 barrels per day, and that's from 1.812 million barrels per day in the month of October to 1.607 million barrels per day in November. Angola, on the other hand, saw its oil output drop from 1.762 million barrels per day to 1.722 million barrels per day in the same period. Nigeria recorded the heaviest drop in output among its peers in OPEC, followed by Saudi Arabia, which is the cartel's biggest oil producer. Africa's oil supply is projected to remain unchanged, with a decline of 30,000 barrels per day to average 2.31 million barrels in 2016 year on year. Well, the Nigerian equities market continued its second-day decline as key indicators dipped further south to end the day's trading session at 26,950.76. Here's Bisi Adebayo with more.
Hello and welcome to the stock market reports. The haircut continued at the Nigerian equities market as key indicators depreciated further for a second straight session this week. The all-share index shed 0.84% to close at 26,950.76. Market capitalization also dropped to 9.26 trillion naira. Top on the decliners list was Nestle with a 1.27% drop. It's followed by Guinness with 4.28% and Seplat, which lost 1.66%. Unilever led the day's gainers, which also include Julius Berger and Flour Mills. On the activity chart, UBA led with 20.29 million shares. At the end of the day's trading session, volume came in at 189.32 million shares, valued at 3.16 billion naira in over 3,000 deals. And that ends the stock market reports. I am Bisi Adebayo.
Thanks a lot, BC. Now, major equities around the globe ended a little easy today with mixed sentiment trailing the markets. Let's see some of those figures. And it's a wrap on business news for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Anne Nwawadu. Ijoma will be back with the rest of the news at 10.
More winners have emerged from the Airtel Red Hot Promo Season 3. This year, Airtel is giving out 60 million naira to 60 lucky winners. Other winners will get to travel to Dubai with some family members.
A rousing welcome to winners of the Airtel Red Hot Promo Season 3 as they make their way into this hall for the prizes. They're among the 60 lucky winners who have won 1 million naira each and 240 others who would go on a trip to Dubai with 3 members of their families. The Chief Commercial Officer of Airtel Nigeria, Mr. Ahmed Mokas, describes the promo as the best in the telecoms industry.
This year we have partnered and collaborating with Emirates Holiday in order to make almost 60 trips for more than 240 people to Dubai, which is something new and raising the bar of the Nigerian expectation and especially Nigerian Airtel customers.
It's one of the best you can find in the industry, not because it's not just because it's from Airtel. The prices are very exciting, and the level of transparency you find in this promo. We've never ever in this third year ever got any serious complaint from anybody.
What will the winners enjoy on the trip? An official of the Emirates Holidays tells us.
From the flight, you get to Dubai, the best airport I can say as well, and then you're helped through immigration. You're handed over to the driver who will take you to the hotel, and like I said, the hotel is in Bor Dubai. And the next morning they have breakfast, and then they head out for the city tour and stop at the Burj Khalifa, which happens to be the tallest building in the world.
For these winners, it's the best gifts they can get, especially in the festive period.
Well, I just kept using my line. Airtel has been my line for years. I kept recharging, making calls, and I got a call that I've won a promo, so I was so surprised and I'm so happy.
The Airtel Red Hot promo is open to all Airtel subscribers and runs till February 2016.
Still ahead on the news at 10, dust over FIFA corruption scandal yet to settle as former Honduras president hands himself in to U.S. authorities. And that will be on sports. Do stay with us.
Welcome to Sports News. The home-based Eagles have commenced training in Abuja ahead of next month's African Nations Championship in Rwanda. 22 players are already in camp, with under-23 stars Usman Mohammed and Bature Yaro given time to rest after participating in the just-concluded under-23 AFCON in Senegal. The team will leave for South Africa in January for the final phase of camping before flying out to Rwanda. They opened their 2016 CHAN campaign against Niger on January the 18th in Kigali. Tunisia and Guinea are the other teams in their first round group. And former President of Honduras, Rafael Callejas, has flown to the United States to face bribery charges in connection with the ongoing FIFA corruption probe. The 72-year-old is accused of taking bribes for marketing and broadcasting rights alongside 15 other high-ranking world football officials. Callejas, who served as Honduran president from 1990 through 1994, denies all allegations and is determined to defend himself against the charges. And Brazil midfielder Fred has been banned for 1 year for doping. The South American Confederation backdated the ban to June the 26th and has applied it only to the matches it sanctions. The 22-year-old tested positive for the diuretic hydrochlorothiazide during the Copa America in Chile. He has continued playing for Shakhtar Donetsk while awaiting the verdict. If FIFA extends the ban worldwide, it would rule Fred out of league play, but for only 4 months. In athletics, world's fastest sprinter Usain Bolt is set to return to London's Olympic Stadium next summer for the anniversary games. Bolt is due to run at the London Diamond League meeting as he works towards the Rio Olympic Games the following month. The London anniversary games will be staged at the Olympic Stadium in Stratford, East London from July the 22nd to the 23rd, 2016. And now to tennis. The Indian Aces have tightened their grip on the International Premier Tennis League with a 25-18 win over the Japan Warriors. Despite starting the day with a loss in the mixed doubles set, the Aces bounced back by winning 12 of the next 13 games, with Agnieszka Radwanska defeating Mirjana Lucic-Baroni 6-1, followed by Fabrice Santoro's thumping of Thomas Enqvist 6-love in the Legends singles. Rohan Bopanna then teamed up with Ivan Dodig to win the men's doubles set 6-5 to give the Aces an unassailable lead In the day's other match, the UAE Royals, led by Roger Federer, were beaten 26-24 by the Philippine Mavericks. That's it on Sports News. It's back to Ijoma with the rest of the news at 10.
Now, as the West seeks to find a solution to the crisis in Syria, the U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry is in Moscow for talks to try to bridge gaps with Russia over the political process, and that's to end the Syrian war. Temitope Fagwemi has more.
Ahead of the meeting with his Russian counterpart Sergei Lavrov, Mr. Kerry said he hopes to find a common ground. He also held talks with President Vladimir Putin on how to narrow the gap on which groups should be included in the planned peace talks in New York on Friday.
I think there is no question Prime Minister Lavrov and I have agreed that together the United States and Russia have an ability to be able to make a significant difference here.
The police in France have arrested a man in the Paris region as part of the investigation into the November 13 attacks in the city. Reports say some 2,700 raids have been conducted since the attacks, with 360 people placed under house arrest across France. Police have also arrested 2 people in northern France suspected of supplying weapons to one of the gunmen involved in the January attacks. Finally, a rebel leader in the Central African Republic has declared an autonomous state in his northeastern stronghold after rejecting elections scheduled this month that are aimed at ending years of bloodshed. A spokesman and chief lieutenant for rebel leader Nuruddin Adam says the Republic of Logone was proclaimed December 14 in the town of Kagabanduru. The spokesman for the Central African Republic's transitional government immediately denounced the rebels' declaration. And that's the foreign news wrap-up. It's back to you, Joma.
Thanks a lot, Temitope. And the main news again. Fear of reprisal attacks grips Kaduna as reports say soldiers have killed 60 members of the Islamic movement of Nigeria. A federal high court sitting in Abuja has given the acting national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Uche Secondus, 14 days to vacate his office. And U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry has held talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin as both countries look for a meeting point in the effort to end the Syrian conflict. Well, that's the news at 10 tonight. Many thanks for staying with us. I'm Ijoma Honyato. Do have a good night.